Hi guys, my name is Mo,
My name is Wonder.
and this is the Couch with Mo and Wonder. So basically, we're just going to be talking about what's going on in sports today. First, we're going to be talking about Kevin Durant. What's up with Kevin Durant? Like, obviously, in the NBA, the buzz is that Steph Curry is the best player in the world, but just 2 years ago, it was Kevin Durant, duking it out with LeBron. So, do you think that his chances of winning a championship, like the window is closing?
Well, I think it's now. It has to be now, and he has to leave like OKC now. And I think two factors kind of come into play. The first one is Russell Westbrook. The second
I
one is the
agree.
team that they put around him. I think he's had chances, he's been there once, and you need that champ. You need a chip to be
Yeah, you need
considered a
it.
great player.
I agree. Well, with me, I think going back to what you said, I think it's Russell Westbrook because they just can't coexist together. It's like
Correct, correct.
because Russell Westbrook, he's a point guard, but he's the kind of player that ball hogs, never really pass the ball. So Durant can really do what he wants to do because Russell Westbrook is doing everything. He's scoring, he's rebounding. So I just feel like they can't coexist together. So I think he would probably do better somewhere else. Now, I don't know about Washington because there was a buzz about him. But what do you feel about him going to the Warriors?
Yeah, I heard about that a few days ago. There was trade rumors,
Hmm.
and obviously free agency is going to be really huge this year.
Very
And
huge.
every summer there's always one star player, and this
Hmm.
year so happens to be Kevin. I think Kevin needs to go into a market with that mindset that he needs a championship. It's championship, championship, championship. Him going to the Warriors, I feel it might throw off the dynamic of the way they play. He's a great shooter. I mean, he ranks up there with some of the best
Hmm.
guys in the league right now.
Right.
But I think it's more along the lines of is he gonna change the way they play? Because now it's not him fitting in. I feel the Warriors have to accommodate his
His
style of
style of play.
play.
Right. I agree with you. Me personally, I don't want him to go to Warriors because I just feel like there needs to be a balance in the NBA. I mean, that's just not going to be fair. If Durant with Curry, with Draymond Green, Klay Thompson, that's just too much. I think he will probably be good at Wizards because, I mean, they got a good team right now. They're not really playing that well, but there's potential in them with John Wall, Bradley
Don't
Beal.
don't don't be surprised. I mean, I got sources and they tell me that LA, even though he's putting off LA, that listen, I'm not being biased now, but
Hmm.
there's a big
I'm a
hunch.
Lakers fan, by the way.
There's a big hunch that he possibly could be going to LA, and there's stuff cooking up, and they're trying to get the DeMarcus Cousins out there to LA. So pointing, with D'Angelo Russell at point guard
Hmm.
right now, I could see
Well, he's definitely been playing good,
maybe a
playing good.
Jordan Clarkson at the two, play Durant at the three. You might get DeMarcus at the four or
Right.
five, and you can
Hmm.
switch him with Randall at the 4-5. That's a legitimate squad. With that squad, I think they could have a winning season, and they get the chance to possibly, draft the Ben Simmons, so you have a good player.
Right.
So
Right.
that's right there is a good team. The LSU
Hmm.
yellow with the
Yeah.
Lakers yellow.
I mean, we need to come back. Now that Kobe's riding off to the sunset. But talking about retirement, let me just switch it to the NFL. So, Denver Broncos quarterback, well, former quarterback, announced his retirement. Peyton Manning, how do you feel about that?
It's always sad when you have to see a legend go. I think Peyton, his legacy is gonna live on.
Hmm.
Possibly the greatest of all time. No matter how many
I
championships.
don't know if I'm gonna put him there. I think he is, a great quarterback. But I don't know about greatest of all time because if you look at his playoff wins, it's not really that much. I mean, I think he's the greatest regular season quarterback of all time. But playoff,
The
I'll
numbers,
put Tom Brady above him.
the stats don't lie. I mean, yeah, he has two champs. Tom
But
Brady.
that was to the defense, though. The defense won that Super Bowl.
Hey,
You got to give it to
at the
Von
end
Miller,
of the
DeMarcus Ware.
at the
It
end
was
of
the
the day,
defense.
it's the ring that counts. He has two championships, however way he won it. I could say there was some championships that Brady's won that it was Randy Moss that won it for him, or it was Wes
It
Walker
was
that won it
Tom
for him.
Brady.
But and don't get me wrong, like I said, Tom is definitely up there, but I think people are gonna respect the sheriff as we know him,
Hmm.
because of what he did. He revolutionized the way people look at football. And the reason why is because he's the guy that basically he's become a floor general for if you're
Right.
using basketball terms now.
Right.
He can read and change the audible on the line because he knows exactly if you move an inch, he knows exactly why you move that inch. And prior to him, there was never really anyone in the game that can do that. So I think that added benefit is what it brought to the game. And now we see the NFL standard as a good quarterback has to be able to do that. You have to be smart enough to be able to call an audible on the line of play.
Well, I definitely agree with you. I just don't know if I'm going to put him yet as the greatest of all time. I'll definitely say he's the greatest regular season, but I just look at Tom Brady. He got, what, 6 rings compared to 2?
It's like Brett Favre was one of the greatest of all time. But, that raises that question. Are you going off of championships or are you going off?
I'm going everything total. I mean, this Super Bowl, yeah, he won it, but he wasn't his normal self this season.
But if we're going off of that, then Peyton legitimately has a greater probability of being considered a greater quarterback because there's something we believe you call the eye test. He passes the eye test because Peyton delivered, and most of the games that he lost was out of his hands, like the loss to the Arizona Cardinals. Some of those plays he couldn't fault that. He had no bearing factor over controlling that. But when it came to his play, he took his team to the championship. The coach released him the next year coming off the neck surgery.
Went to Broncos, had that great season, 55 touchdowns. Well, we definitely wish Peyton a happy retirement. So
and Megatron.
Oh yeah, and Megatron. That's true. We'll talk about him.
And Marshawn Lynch.
And well, he's kind of iffy. We're not too sure yet. I don't think he's retiring. I think he's coming back. He's not too sure. He's still having fun right now. But moving on, let's just move on to soccer. What is going on with my Manchester United?
Man, listen.
What is going on? I know you Man U fans. You guys are like, what's going on? I'm a Man U fan and I'm sad right now. I don't know what is going on. I mean, ever since Ferguson retired, it has been down.
That's the biggest thing is replacing such a great manager like that is hard because what people don't understand and I'm privileged to know some of the top scouts like David Hobson, René Mullerstein and a lot of the players that have come through the ranks, go from the youth to the first team. It's a culture at United because what Ferguson built was he built a system that could sustain. Because every year Manchester United didn't re-sign a new player or recoup a new player. They didn't change the formula. He found a formula for winning. So ultimately he reloaded. Because from the likes of Dwight York to Andy Cole to Teddy Sheringham, and every year it was always more like Chicharito. And it was almost like he was just replacing the same.
Ronaldo.
He had the same style of players, coming in year out. So when you take that away and you have veterans like Ferdinand left, Vidic left, Paul Scholes retired, Park Ji-sung, the guys that really made the team stick together left. But the new coach and people try not to fault David Moyes, but the reality is, when David Moyes came, he should have kept some of those guys like your Vidic, your Ferdinand, your Van Persies, your Nannies.
Well, to me, he sucked. I'm sorry, he did. He did a terrible job, and I mean, we were at the bottom of the table, as I remember. I wasn't even paying attention that whole season because I was just depressed. But what do you think of Louis van Gaal? Do you think that they should fire him? Or...
He should have been gone.
I agree. I personally want Mourinho to come back. That's the rumor, that they're gonna hire him. Do you think that he has a chance of reviving Manchester United, like getting us back to that top 4?
Jose Mourinho come into any team. He's a manager. If you look at it, I'll compare him to Kentucky in basketball. He's a one and done. He will get you either a championship the first year or you're gonna have a winning season. The problem with him is the continuity. His track record says he's a great manager. He wins championship, but he doesn't have that continuity formula for winning. It's almost like he's a one and done. So him coming to United, that is the fair. He's gonna bring out the players, the best in these players. But my fear is he overworks them.
Mhm.
and he doesn't compensate for that the following year by bringing in reinforcement to reduce the workload, so they
Right.
can't meet up with that level, that standard.
Right. Well, hopefully we get it together. Obviously this season,
Louis Van Gaal needs to
wasted
go though.
season.
He needs to
Yeah, I
go. I mean,
agree. I agree. We
you
need
you
somebody
you
to
can't
be like
have a
that.
guy
I mean,
like.
we losing sponsorship. I mean, we lost in the Europa League.
They lost to Liverpool.
I
And
mean,
you see
come
what
on.
Jurgen Klopp is doing at Liverpool? He's changing the mentality of the players.
Yeah,
Liverpool are going to become a Dortmund in a few years' time because he's
uh,
building
yeah,
a very strong team there. And I
right.
think the biggest thing for me though is with United, you can't have a guy like Di Maria
Mhm.
leave your team, go to PSG, and he's about to win a Champions League now, and you buy Memphis Depay for half of the money that you spent, that you recruit from Di Maria, and you are benching him for a teenager in Jesse Lingard and a lot of these young kids. So with all due respect, I don't know what the hierarchy of Manchester United are doing,
Mhm.
but something's got to give.
Well,
Something.
hopefully they do get it together. But lastly, we're just gonna talk real quick about UFC. I had to talk about this. So Holly Holmes, she lost to Mr. Tate, and now Ronda Rousey was
She
like,
should
she's
have
coming
won.
back. You think so?
It was a last minute
I didn't
choke.
watch it,
It,
but
it, it was a last minute choke, she tapped out. If she had just held on for just a few more rounds or a few more seconds, to be honest,
mhm.
but she went to ground.
Now, do you think Ronda Rousey can take out Mr. Tate? I mean, she's beaten her twice before.
I'm for listen. I hate to say it was a fluke, but I think Ollie Holmes beating Ronda Rousey was an absolute fluke. But you have to give credit where credit is due.
What do you mean by fluke? What do you mean by that?
Because 9 out of 10 times if they fought, that would have been a mismatch. She would have whooped her behind because she's a much better fighter. But I think
Then
Ronda,
Holly Holmes?
correct.
I disagree.
I,
Holly Holmes is a boxer.
I think, I
I
think, I
disagree, and
think,
her skill set
and the
is
thing is, she's never fought anyone like her prior to that. So as a fighter,
what I think happened to Ronda, and this is to y'all Ronda fans out there. She got overconfident.
she
She
did.
kept running her mouth, and she got embarrassed and got knocked out.
She needed to be
And
humbled.
she needed to be humbled, and that's why I think that Miss Tate is gonna beat her because I think they found her weakness, and then for you to get on Ellen and be like, "Well, I wanted to commit suicide," it says a lot about her, and that's why I just think that with
From
her
a
psyche,
mental
she's
strength.
rushing back. Instead of her to just take time to really work her way back, trying to get that title, I just feel like she's gonna come back
Well, a
and
lot
then
of things kind of goes into that
Miss Tate.
endorsement deals. That if you're out of the ring, it affects money coming in. So I mean, she made what, close to 29 million last year.
That's crazy.
So that says a lot. But yeah, that's that. I really enjoyed this. I really did.
Well, we're
Well,
looking forward to that match definitely, but we're gonna round it up here. Make sure you guys follow us on Instagram, Twitter, at Garbersports. We also check out our website, www.thegarbersports.com. Again, my name is Mo,
Wonder.
and we'll see
Thanks
y'all
for chilling
next
with us on
time.
the couch.
All right.